I'm curious as to how many of you, by a show of hands, have heard somebody, because I know you haven't done this yourselves, but how many of you have heard somebody make the following phone call? Hey, just calling to check in. See if you made a decision yet. Show of hands. How many of you have heard somebody make a phone call like that? Okay. Here's the real moment of truth. How many of you have actually made that phone call? All right, now there's some honesty. When you do that, you are a tin cup and a cardboard sign away from begging. It's literally like, hey, just calling to check in. Want to see if you made a decision yet, Kirk? Hey, just calling to check in. God bless. It's a pathetic way to follow up with people, but it's been the state of the art. Because as leaders, what we do is we tell people, look, your job is to go out and make a sale. You got to go out, I'm telling you, nothing's more important than closing this deal and making this sale. And when you do that, an interesting thing happens. You're focused on the sale, you're not focused on the client. And that triggers a condition that I'm surprised that Dr. Kerr didn't mention, called axis displacement disorder. You guys familiar with that? Axis displacement disorder. That's when the seller believes that the axis of the earth has shifted. It now goes through your head, out your rear, and the world revolves around you. And it makes it so we come across as pushy individuals. And as human beings, we've learned to evaluate any interaction we have as one of two things. It's either a threat to us or it's someone who can help us. And when we see a threat, what do? Are we open and transparent, or are we shut down and guarded? Today, people come away from a meeting and they say, oh, I had the best meeting. It was amazing. Incredible meeting. You've all heard this before. So you can fill in the blanks. Man, I had an amazing meeting. The meeting was supposed to last only 20 minutes. And instead it lasted 2 hours an hour. 2 hours, that's a hell of a meeting. And I got to tell you, as soon as we got together with that client, man, we just totally clicked, connected. And the meeting went so well that we've agreed that next week, we've already scheduled a time for us to meet again. And that would be a great way to describe a meeting that was set up on Match.com. But it's not a great way to set up to determine whether or not you have a good business meeting, and that's what we'll talk about later on. Thanks very much.